Hello and welcome back to Sport Wrestling. I'm Michael Henson, and today I'm joined by a very special guest who is making his WWE in-ring debut this Sunday at SummerSlam against the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. It's Dominik Mysterio. How are you today, Dominik?
Very good. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. The weather could be better in Manchester, but I'm sure it's better where you are.
So,
So,
hey, I can't complain here in San Diego.
so we're going to start with the first question. Obviously, in-ring debut this Sunday. How are you feeling ahead of SummerSlam?
Um, I'm feeling a bit nervous, but it's a good nervous. I feel excited, um, angry because I want to get my hands on them. But overall, I'm feeling really good. I think it's gonna be a big day for the Mysterio family, and I'm ready.
And how's training been? How have you been finding that?
Training's been good. It's been a little different, as far as not being every day in the ring. So I do like one day in, one day out. So I'll switch it out with like I have boxing, I do weights, and I also do wrestling. So I switch it up.
And beside, obviously, your father's own style, what other sort of superstars have you been taking inspiration with in your moveset?
Um, I've been taking I'm trying to create a little bit of my own style, but I do pick off a little bit off of Eddie Guerrero, a little here off of Randy Orton, a little off my dad. So just different styles that my because me and my dad our height differences are pretty significant. So it's hard to do the agile things that he does. I can do them, but just not as crisp and fast as he makes them look. But yeah, little here off of little guys here and there, Randy, Eddie, Jericho, Benoit, but yeah, I'm trying to come up with my own little style.
And obviously, a couple you mentioned there, like Randy Orton, and obviously you got great advice from your dad. Are there any other WWE superstars in the back who've been giving you like little tips and tricks ahead of your debut?
Everyone in the back has been, extremely awesome with giving me tips and helping me out with the little things here and there. And specifically, Randy Orton has always been there for me. He's always been very nice and helping me with my promos and what I can do better. So I'm always listening to him. Alistair Black is another guy. He's always, ever since I started doing things back in the day with Samoa Joe and with Brock Lesnar before this Seth Rollins feud, Alistair would help me with the little things here and there that I could do a little bit better, just like nitpicky things that can just take my game to another level. Lance Storm, he's always texting me, like after every show, he always texts me like good job or, you know, uh, keeping up with me and what I'm doing. So, guys like that.
And can you give us an insight into what your gear is going to be like at SummerSlam?
Oh, I can't give you guys too much, but I'll give you. I'm actually looking at it right now. It arrived in the mail today, so I'll give you guys a little. It's some royal blue and a little black. I'll give you guys that.
And obviously, we've seen you in the ring the past few weeks with kendo sticks, using them and taking them. Can you talk us
Mhm.
through what that was like? Obviously, when you first week you attacked them, then you got unfortunately caught up in the ropes, and then obviously this week with your
Mhm.
dad going to town on Seth.
Yeah, so the first time getting my hands on them with the kendo stick, that was the first time I've used a kendo stick. So it was an interesting experience because I've always had them with me. Like I have some here at the house because I loved playing with them as a kid. Who doesn't if they have the opportunity to get a kendo stick? So I always had it here, but being able to actually use it and be on Raw and deliver some of those to Seth and to Murphy, but also receiving them, it didn't feel great. That was very painful, but it was a good painful because I had it coming. What goes around comes around.
And obviously, if you win on Sunday, could we see you in the ring as a full-time superstar?
Uh, right now, I think that would have to be a question for later, because at this point we don't know what's going to happen after SummerSlam. Maybe they could move me down to developmental, or I don't know what happens. So that'll all be in their hands once this happens.
And obviously, it's going to be taking place at SummerSlam, but it's not the first time you'll have been involved in a match at SummerSlam. Can you
Hmm.
talk us through your sort of thoughts and memories of that classic match between your dad and Eddie Guerrero?
Yeah, of course. 2005 SummerSlam Eddie Guerrero, my dad custody match. I believe the main event was Hogan and Michaels. That's crazy, just knowing that those two, main evented and I was on that card. Um, but yeah, I remember it very vividly. I remember I had a spot, go run up there, shake the ladder. I was told not to shake it too hard because they didn't want me to knock Eddie off. But me being an 8-year-old, thinking I was strong enough, if I moved this ladder, I would knock him down. I moved it just a little bit. So, and I still get made fun of for that to this day. But yeah, that was a crazy angle, you know.
And obviously, the late great Eddie Guerrero. What were your sort of childhood memories of him? Because obviously, you've been quite close with your dad.
Hmm. Eddie was around a lot of the time. When WWE would come down to San Diego, he would stay here at the house. Um, I remember waking up in the mornings and having breakfast burritos with him in the kitchen while my mom is making them. I remember after we did the angle for my custody, he always saw me playing with my PSP. He bought me like video games for him. He bought me FIFA for it. um, After we did promos, he would always give me candy to make sure I was okay. So Eddie was he was a great human being.
And obviously, like, if he was still around, he'd be able to pass on his talent. And he was such a good sort of wrestler. Everything about him was perfect. What was your sort of favourite Eddie moment?
Man, I loved when he had his intercontinental title run with Edge and with RVD, and right as he was coming out as the what was it, the Latino Heat with China. I think that was him just making his way all the way up because he was already a superstar, but I think that just took him to another level. And he's always just been made everything look so vicious and snug, and I loved his work.
And obviously, another WWE legend that you've worked with in the past, you mentioned before, Brock Lesnar. What was that
Hmm.
experience like for you?
It was that was an experience like no other. I've never worked hands on as far as like me being able to take bumps and do things like in ring. So the fact that I got to do that for the first time with Brock Lesnar, it's truly an honor and a blessing to be able to do that. So, and it was he's a different kind of human being, man. He's on another level.
Did you have any out of ring interactions with Brock, or is it a case of doing the in ring stuff and then that's it?
No, we there was some interact. We would always, me and my dad would always go say hi to him out of respect when we showed up, and if there's anything to talk about, I'd be in there, and nothing but mutual respect between him and my dad, and for me, just as respectful as I can be,
And a topic on this week's podcast that we're doing is the best SummerSlam match ever. What would yours be and why?
Best SummerSlam match ever. Um, I hate to be biased, but my dad and Kurt Angle tore the house down in 2002, man. They opened the show and they killed it. But I would have to go with either that one or was it Rock and Lesnar too that had a match at SummerSlam? Was it the year before that? Was it that 2002?
I think it was the same one, 'cause I think that was Brock's first title reign.
Yeah, that match was awesome too. They tore it down. But I don't know. That's a hard one. It's a lot of matches, but definitely my dad and Kurt Angle I'd put at the top. They killed it.
And then two questions left. First one being, this is your chance if you look straight down the camera and deliver a message to Seth Rollins, what would you say to him?
Seth Rollins, I can't wait till I get my hands on you at SummerSlam after what you did to my dad at Extreme Rules and beating me with that kendo stick, showing no remorse. I can't wait till this Sunday.
And then the final question, obviously you've probably talked about this a lot of time during media. What's it like being Rey Mysterio's son?
It's definitely something to get used to, 'cause, growing up, I didn't really get any of that, attention, because my dad never like, his tattoos didn't start showing up until after. So once those tattoos started coming in and I started doing the angle, that's when, like, everything started, like, around 3rd grade for me. "Is Eddie your dad? Is Rey Mysterio your dad?" Things like that. But yeah, it took some getting used to, especially now being a 23-year-old and being in the business now. It's different, but it's a blessing. That's all it is. Blessing to be able to be in this business, be able to do it with my dad. So I think that's awesome.
And then just a final question to pick up on that. What's the best piece of advice your dad's given you?
Slow down.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me today, Dominik. It's been a pleasure chatting to you, and good luck in your match on Sunday.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.